He bailed out half an alms bowl of water and brought it to Pilgrim. After he took it, Pilgrim spat out the elixir and placed it inside the lips of the king. Then with both hands, he pulled the jaws of the king apart, and using a mouthful of clean water, he flushed the golden elixir down to the king's stomach. After about half an hour, loud gurgling noises came from the belly of the king, although his body remained immobile. "Master," said Pilgrim, "even my golden elixir seems unable to revive him. Could it be that old monkey's going to be finished off by blackmail?" Tripitaka said, "Nonsense. There's no reason for him not to live. How could he swallow that water if he had been only a corpse dead for a long time? It had to be the divine power of that golden elixir, which entrance into his stomach now causes the intestines to growl. When that happens, it means that circulation and pulse are in harmonious motion once more. His breath, however, is still stopped and cannot flow freely. But that's to be expected when a man has been submerged in a well for 3 years. After all, even raw iron would be completely rusted. That's why his primal breath is all used up, and someone should give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation." 8 Rules walked forward and was about to do this when he was stopped by Tripitaka. "You can't do it," he said. "Wukong still should take over." That elder indeed had presence of mind, for Ju 8 Rules, you see, had been a cannibal since his youth, and his breath was unclean. Pilgrim, on the other hand, had practiced self-cultivation since his birth, the food sustaining him being various fruits and nuts, and thus his breath was pure. The great sage, therefore, went forward and clamped his thunder god beak to the lips of the king. A mighty breath was blown through his throat to descend the tiered towers. Invading the bright hall, it reached the cinnabar field and the jetting spring points beyond before it reversed its direction and traveled to the mud pill chamber of the crown. With a loud swoosh, the king's breath came together and his spirit returned. He turned over and at once flexed his hands and feet, crying, "Master." Going then to his knees, he said, "I remember my soul as a ghost did see you last night, but I did not expect this morning my spirit would return to the world of light." Tripitaka hurriedly tried to raise him, saying, "Your Majesty, I didn't do anything. You should thank my disciple." "Master, what are you saying?" said Pilgrim with laughter. "The proverb says, a household does not have 2 heads. You should accept his bow." Greatly embarrassed nonetheless, Tripitaka raised the king up with both hands, and they went together into the Chen Hall. The king insisted on greeting Pilgrim, 8 Rules, and Sha Monk before he would take a seat. The resident monks of the monastery had just finished preparing the morning meal, and they were about to present it when they discovered a king with soaking wet garments. Everyone became frightened. Each of them began to speculate. Pilgrim's son, however, leapt into their midst and said, "Monks, don't be so alarmed. This is in fact the king of the Black Rooster Kingdom, the true ruler of all of you. 3 years ago he was murdered by a fiend, but Old Monkey revived him last night. We plan to go with him to the city presently to distinguish the perverse from the true. If you have some vegetarian food prepared, bring it here so that we can start our journey after we eat." The monks then presented hot water also so that the king could wash up and change his clothes. The royal reddish-brown robe was discarded, and he put on instead 2 cloth shirts given to him by the monk official. They took off the jade belt and tied him up with a yellow silk sash. After the carefree boots were removed, he was given a pair of old monk sandals. Then they had their vegetarian breakfast before going to saddle the horse. 8 Rules, said Pilgrim. "How heavy is your luggage?" "I've been toting it every day," said 8 Rules. "And I really don't know how heavy it is," Pilgrim said. "Divide one and let the king take up the other one. We should get to the city early to do our work." Delighted, 8 Rules said, "Lucky. Lucky. When I brought him here on my back, I used up a lot of my strength. I had no idea that he could be my substitute after he had been healed." Resorting at once to mischief, Idiot divided the luggage. He carried the lighter load with a flat pole that he acquired from the monastery, whereas the heavier load he gave to the king to pull. "Your Majesty," said Pilgrim with a chuckle, "I hope you don't mind our treatment, dressing you in that manner and asking you to pick up a pole to follow us." Kneeling down immediately, the king said, "Master, you are like parents who have given me a new birth. Don't mention anything about pawing some luggage. I'm even willing to pick up the whip and hold the stirrups to look after the venerable father and follow him all the way to the western heaven." Pilgrim said, "There's no need for you to do that, but I have a reason for making you do this at the moment. You can help us carry the luggage for these 40 miles until we have entered the city and caught the monster spirit. Then you can become a king again, and we will go and fetch our scriptures." Hearing this, 8 Rules said, "In that case, he is going to pole for only 40 miles. After that, Old Hog will remain as a long-term laborer." "Brother, no more foolish talk," said Pilgrim. "Get out there and lead the way." 8 Rules indeed walked with the king in front to lead the way, while Shamunk helped his master to mount the horse and Pilgrim took up the rear. Arranged in an orderly formation, the 500 monks of that monastery followed them all the way to the gate, playing and blowing their musical instruments. Smiling, Pilgrim said, "No need for you monks to accompany us any further. I fear that if any of this is leaked to the officials, our enterprise will be ruined. Go back quickly. Go back quickly. Only see to it that the king's clothing and belt are cleaned and prepared. Send them to the city either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. I'll ask for some reward for you." The monks obeyed and returned to their quarters, while Pilgrim in big strides caught up with his master to proceed with him. So it is that the West has mystery. It's good to seek the truth. Wood and metal and concord, then spirit can be refined. The elixir mother recalls in vain a foolish dream. The child deplores deeply how powerless he is. You must seek at a well's bottom the enlightened Lord. And then bow to Lao Tzu in the hall of heaven. Back to your own nature once you see form's emptiness. You're thus truly a Buddha-led man of affinity. It did not take master and disciples even half a day on the road when they saw a city approaching. "Wukong?" said Tripitaka. "I suppose that must be the Black Rooster Kingdom ahead of us." "Exactly," said Pilgrim. "Let's enter the city quickly so that we can do our business." After they entered the city, master and disciples found the population well-mannered and engaged in a great deal of bustling activities. As they walked along, they soon came upon the Phoenix Bowers and Dragon Towers, exceedingly grand and ornate edifices for which we have a testimonial poem. The poem says, "These outland buildings are like the sovereign states. Like those of old Tang, people sing and dance. Flowers greet jeweled fans trailed by roseate clouds. Fresh robes, sunlit, glimmer in jade green fog. Peacock screens open and fragrant mist pours out. Pearly shades roll up as colored flags unfurl. A picture of peace most worthy of praise. Quiet rows of nobles but no memorials. Disciples," said Tripitaka as he dismounted. "We might as well go right into the court to have our rescript certified and not be bothered by some bureaucratic office." "That's reasonable," said Pilgrim. "We brothers will go in with you. It's easier to talk when you have more people on your side." The Tang monk said, "If all of you are going inside, you must not be rowdy. Let's go through the proper ceremony of greeting a ruler before we do any talking." "If you want to go through that," said Pilgrim, "it means that you have to prostrate yourself." "Exactly," said the Tang monk. "We have to undertake the grand ceremony of 5 bows and 3 kowtows." "Master, you are too insipid," said Pilgrim with a chuckle. "It's so unwise of you to want to pay homage to that character. Let me go in first, for I know what I'm going to do. If he has anything to say to us, let me answer him. If I bow, you all can bow with me. If I crouch, you crouch also. Look at that mischievous monkey king." He went straight up to the gate of the court and said to the guardian official, We have been sent by the throne of the great Tang in the land of the East to go worship Buddha in the Western heaven and to acquire scriptures from him. Having arrived in this region, we would like to have our rescript certified. May we trouble you to report this to the king, so that the act of virtuous fruit will not be delayed." The custodian of the Yellow Gate went at once to the gate of the main hall and knelt before the vermilion steps to memorialize, saying, "There are 5 monks outside the gate of the court, who claim that they have been sent by imperial decree from the Tang nation in the land of the East to go to see Buddha for scriptures in the Western heaven. They would like to have their rescript certified, but they dare not enter the court, and they await your summons." The Demon King at once gave the order to summon them inside. The Tang monk then proceeded to walk inside the court, followed by the king who had been revived. As they walked, the king could not stop the tears from rolling down his cheeks, thinking to himself, "How pitiful indeed! My bronze-guarded empire, my ironclad domain, had been secretly taken over by him." "Your Majesty," said Pilgrim softly, "you must not show your sorrow at this moment, for we may reveal everything. The rod in my ear is getting rather restless.